I want to extend my gratitude to the presiding chancellor, the deputy chancellors, the respected board of regents, faculty members, program director, course advisor, fellow students, all protocols observed. Adegoke Oludotun Newton is my name, a PhD student of theology and church administration at a Real Life Christian College and Seminary. In this day's presentation, we shall look into the topic, the Apocrypha and the biblical interpretation. We'll be looking at the historical as well as the theological perspectives. This paper explores the historical and the theological importance of the Apocrypha in biblical interpretation, tracing its impact on understanding the Bible across different religious traditions. Chapter 1 is the introduction. Biblical interpretation has been central to religious scholarship, with the Apocrypha serving as a significant yet contested part of the endeavor, comprising diverse texts from the intertestamental period. The Apocrypha offers insight into ancient Near East culture as well as their theology. While Catholic and Orthodox tradition include these texts in their canon, Protestantism and Judaism generally regard them as non-canonical. Despite debate, the Apocrypha has influenced biblical interpretation as well as theological discourse, thereby enriching understanding of Second Temple Judaism and the early Christian theology. This study aims to explore the historical as well as the theological significance of the Apocrypha, thereby analyzing its reception, formation of canons, and the interpretative approaches across the religious traditions. By examining its impact on the biblical studies and theological reflection, this research contributes to understanding the diverse religious literature of antiquity and fosters a dialogue among scholars as well as practitioners. The chapter 2 is based on the historical perspective on the Apocrypha. The historical reception of the Apocrypha has been multifaceted, reflecting the interplay of religious, cultural, as well as the theological factors across different periods. During the Second Temple period, the Jewish literature flourished, giving rise to a diverse array of texts now known as the Apocrypha. Scholars like the Charlesworth and the Collins have highlighted the significance of these writings in shaping Jewish religious thought. While some were included in the Septuagint, others remain outside the Jewish canon, thereby showcasing the fluidity of scriptures during this era. Early Christians incorporated many of these texts into their scriptures, viewing them as authoritative alongside with the Old Testament. However, debate over canonicity persisted, with councils like the Jamnir and the Carthage affirming certain apocryphal books while excluding others. In the medieval and the Renaissance period, theologians grappled with the authority of the Apocrypha. Scholastic theologians like Aquinas affirmed their canonicity, while humanist scholars like Erasmus scrutinized their historical authenticity. Views on the Apocryphas were diverse, with some defending their canonicity and others advocating for their exclusion based on theological or contextual grounds. The Protestant Reformation catalyzed significant shift in attributes towards the Apocrypha. Luther questions their canonicity, leading to their relegation to a secondary status within the Protestant Bible. The Council of Trent reaffirmed the canonicity of the Apocrypha in response to Protestant challenges, emphasizing their importance within Catholic tradition. Despite this contested status, the Apocrypha continues to influence Protestant theology as well as their liturgy. Chapter 3, Theological Perspective on the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha has been subject to diverse theological interpretation across Catholic, Orthodox, Protestants, and the Jewish traditions, each offering unique insight into its significance as well as the authority. Catholic and Orthodox perspective. Within the Catholicism and the Orthodoxy, The Apocrypha holds a central place in the biblical canon, considered deuterocanonical scriptures. Scholars like the Raymond E. Brown and Joseph E. Fixmere defend its canonicity, highlighting its historical and theological values. The Second Vatican Council affirmed its importance, encouraging its use in liturgy and devotion. Orthodoxy theologians, including Jaroslav Pelikan and John Beer, emphasizes theological richness and contribution to patristic exegesis. Protestant perspective. The Protestantism traditionally views the Apocrypha as non-canonical, reflecting sola scriptura principle. Martin Luther and John Calvin questioned its canonicity, relegating it to a secondary stature. However, modern scholars like Bruce Metzger and R.C. Sproul advocate for its re-evaluation, recognizing its literary and theological significance. Let's look at the Jewish perspective. In Jewish tradition, the Apocrypha is generally not canonical, following the decision of the Council of Jamnia. While not part of the Hebrew Bible, certain books may hold historical or ethical value. Scholars like Louis H. Friedman and Lawrence H. Schiffsman explore its cultural significance within the Second Temple Judaism. Overall, theological perspective on the Apocryphas vary widely, reflecting the diverse interpretative approaches as well as the religious context within different traditions. Despite a different view on its canonicity, the Apocrypha remains a subject of theological reflection, contributing to the broader religious discourse as well as heritage. Chapter 5. The Apocryphas in contemporary biblical interpretation. The Apocrypha remains influential in contemporary biblical interpretation, impacting academic scholarship as well as liturgical practices and ecumenical dialogue across religious traditions. In academia, scholars explore the Apocrypha's historical, literary, and the theological aspect. Textual critics like Emmanuel Tove and Albert Sondberg analyze its transmission as well as the editorial history. Literary scholars such as Adele Berlin and James Kugel examine its genre and narrative techniques. Historians like Jonathan Goldstein and Lister Grab contextualize it within the Second Temple Judaism and early Christianity. Theological interpreters like Beverly Roberts, Javenta, and Daniel Ariston delve into its theological theme and ethical implications, enriching our understanding of the diverse literature. The Apocrypha features in liturgies of various traditions. In Catholicism and Orthodoxy, it's read during Mass, the liturgy of the hours, and other services, emphasizing its canonical stature and spiritual value. Anglicans and the Episcopalians include it in the morning and evening prayer, recognizing its contribution to biblical tradition. In Presbyterianism, its liturgical use varies, reflecting theological debate on its canonicity and interpretive authority. Regardless, its presence in worship highlights its enduring significance for Christian communities worldwide. The Apocrypha fosters ecumenical dialogue among Catholics, Orthodox, Protestants, and Jews. In interfaith discussion, its canonicity stature, interpretive significance, and theological themes are explored. Jewish perspective enriches understanding of its historical context and cultural significance. Ecumenical forums promote cooperation, exchange, and interdisciplinary research, enhancing theological scholarship and spiritual enrichment across religious traditions. The Apocrypha's role in contemporary biblical interpretation is multifaceted and profound, influencing academia, liturgy, as well as interfaith dialogue. Its continued relevance underscores its enduring importance for understanding scripture and fostering unity among diverse religious communities. In conclusion, the Apocrypha's journey through history reflects its enduring significance in biblical interpretation, and from its early perception to its role in contemporary scholarship and the liturgy. It continues to inspire and challenge believers. Scholars like Albert Sundberg and Beverly Roberts Javinta have enriched our understanding of its historical as well as theological dimensions. While Catholic, Orthodox, Protestant, and Jewish traditions offer different perspectives, the Apocrypha remains a vibrant part of shared religious heritage. As we engage with it, let us do so with humility and reverence, recognizing its profound impact on faith as well as cultures worldwide. Thanks for listening. God bless you.